Just wanted to. Uh, 1 second. I'm writing a quick message.
And of course, another thing to consider is the contingency plan in the event that the advisors weren't able to fill it. We have other people that we could ask. TCAN and the coordination team, the people on this call might be able to pitch in and do a scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Let's see. So that's the round opens at tomorrow 12 UTC. That for me here is 3 hours ahead. So that's 3 p.m. UTC. Okay. So it opens tomorrow 3 p.m. UTC for me. Here in Istanbul. So that's good. I'm just calculating in my head how much time should we give the advisors before we take on the evaluation, because
Remind me, how many projects are there?
we should have right now we have 23 applicants. We promised the early bird approval on the 10th. We moved it to the 10th, and by the 10th I think we had close to 20. I have to check. None of them was disqualified. Like none of them had any big red flag from our disqualification criteria.
I
And
mean,
I
I'll
think
volunteer. I'll volunteer to do it today.
Cool, thanks, awesome.
And then we could, on that
And
advisor channel, maybe we just ping Patty and Vasily and Jeff and just be like, kind of, the round opens tomorrow. Will you be able to get it in before your end of day today? And if they do, great. But if not,
okay.
I think we just have other people from the team do it.
And I was thinking also, as part of this plan B, let's say, to get some pre-approvals, like maybe just to make the work easier, maybe the grants that were approved in the past we just approve again, something like that, just for the sake of time. I don't know how people feel about that.
I mean, the scorecard is so simple. I think we can just finish the scorings today. The scorecard is simple and there's only 3 projects. I think it's very achievable. And there's only 23 projects.
Okay. In the meantime, I think so I'll change names to these just in case anything moves. About 3 and about 4. Okay, anyone is up to volunteer to do this today or before 12 UTC?
Yeah, if it helps, I would definitely make myself available.
Okay. I'll send some instructions that I made on the chat, on our in the TGP multi-sig chat.
Yeah, me too. Of course, I will support it.
Okay. Okay, so I think worst case scenario, we do the scoring, the 4 of us. I don't think we need more people. We were 5 because that was the advisory group, but I think 4 is decent enough. Are we cool with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if needed, I'm pretty sure Nate would be down to do it as well. But I don't know, because he's not here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe let's give everyone, like, let's give the others, I don't know, a few hours. I'm probably, so it's 7 p.m. for me. I can put an alarm, I don't know, at 10 p.m. or somewhere around there before going to sleep. And if they don't, so that's like we can wait like 3 4 hours, and if they don't, we just do ourselves. How do we feel about that?
That seems reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
put an alarm.
Yeah.
4 hours from now. Give me just 1 second. 4 hours, 7. That's 11. 1 second. Okay, I just got the alarm up. Well, let me put a note on the alarm just in case. Okay, got it. All right, so I think that's the most important part, I think, or right now. So we may want to jump in to the planning. We may do a very quick sprint planning today, and just while we do it, you just chat about maybe some other things that need to be taken care of. Let me switch my screen. 1 second. Okay, so we are now we're looking at sprint 14 first. Gideon's not here, although he's joining us probably this week. Mine here, I don't have any task marked as complete per se, but all of them um, I'm kind of working on in some way or another. Well, these actually I completed. I reached out to all grantees. Um, Designs, communications, and all that. Well, you guys have been taking care of that for the most part these past few days. But I'll also add it to sprint 15. I've been chatting a bit with. Well, let me ask, how did the space yesterday go?
I mean, it went really well. Nate hosted it pretty well as usual. There was quite some people joining. I think around 40 people joined, like throughout the whole space. Joseph actually really saved us there because he was able to figure out access to mobile Twitter during the weekend. And if it wasn't for him, it would have probably been a pretty embarrassing moment because we wouldn't have anyone else with access to mobile that could start the space. So he was able to create that and host the space from the TEC account. And then the other unfortunate thing was that Disruption Joe just didn't show up. We don't really know what happened. Like, he gave Nate a confirmation that he was going to attend and everything. Like, Trent was more like a bit unsure if he was going to join, but at the end, uh, Disruption Joe was the one who couldn't attend. And Nate will follow up with him on what happened there. But overall, it went really well. It was super interesting. Interesting people joined. Good questions were asked. There was a good conversation overall, and Nate was also able to provide an overview of the round, answer some important questions. We were a bit doubtful on some of the answers. Isaac, I don't know if he reached out to you about those questions, but I think we were able to manage it well and answer everything that was needed. So yeah, I think it went pretty well. Now the next one will happen on Friday, for a grantee AMA, and supposed to be a shield space for grantees. So that's also why we were waiting on the approval of projects to have that ready and to be able to invite grantees to that space.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Okay, well, and let me see. Okay, I already moved most of these to this sprint, at least the ones that I'm really working on. Some other stuff that I did this sprint, that's I just didn't know how to frame it, but I've been just chatting with Cassiana and sending her every update and everything, just talking with her. She said to me earlier today that she was having a look at the contract and was having someone at their team, like I don't remember what she said, but like she was like on the operations side, like she was going to give it also a look to confirm the contract was all good, and then they were going to send it back to have us sign it. Uh, so yeah, I've been just doing that. I chatted with Anna from Arbitrum. She helped us with some communications. There's supposedly another tweet coming out this week, shielding our round. And yeah, just been doing like some small stuff. Maybe that we can maybe consider within the comms part of this. And I'll give some other updates when we get to the actual planning for Sprint 15. Now for 14, I have you here, Bear. I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, sure. Um, well, it's been a pretty busy sprint. I was able to fully complete the water removal proposal and the first Guardians forum post, with a lot of help from Tam and from the TEC group. Um, Still in progress, the Guardians nomination. The document is ready, but we're gonna wait a couple of more days to post that on the forum post. So that's still gonna be moved to the next sprint. The analysis of TEC resources, that's also completed, but I'm also waiting to post it as a forum post. I would like to to have more focus on it and to have more people's attention on it before I do that. And with all the grants and everything going on, it has been a bit of it has been postponed in a way. With the fiduciary accountability policies, similar thing. I've been working on them, but they haven't been the priority these last 2 weeks, unfortunately. But I'm planning to continue working on them. The covenant document, that's something we are hoping to, or I'm hoping to have completed in these days. So we have it ready to post on the forum whenever it's needed. Almost pretty close to get completed. And then I have this kind of like recurring task of reviewing roles. This one has also been a bit postponed, but I'm hoping to get at least another role this week. That's my hope every week. So yeah, that's kind of it. I already moved some of these to the next sprint. And of course, I'm not including here anything to do with the grant round, right? Like right now, I feel we are a bit all over the place, so just trying to support wherever it's needed. And yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, pass it back to you.
Cool, thank you. Now we had Nate, but he's not here. And next is Tam.
Okay, so I'll go a little bit later. I'm sorry, very distracted at the moment. Maybe in 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure, no problems. Okay. And now let's get to you, Sean. Maybe I have seen some comments in the QF group, but I don't.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
past
feel free
sprint,
to
I
give any
was
update.
I was mostly working on the paper, the TQF paper with Octopus. So that's pretty exciting. We got the paper formatted. We have like our outline, and we have our bibliography set up. So we've started referencing papers. I spent quite a bit of time reading papers this past sprint. There's a really interesting paper I'd recommend everyone. It's the Decentralized Society. It's called Finding the Soul of Web3. Vitalik is one of the authors, and it's all about soul-bound tokens and differentiating identity in Web3. And it's very, very overlapping with what we're doing with TQF. So it's a really good reference for what we're doing. So I spent quite a bit of time reading and writing. And then a little bit of working on the app. And that's mostly it. I opened up a ticket with Platform Man to add the token utility session to the calendar, but I think that I didn't hear back. So I just want to follow up with that too. And I think it's been such a busy time at just with running the round and everything that it's okay that we haven't started this token utility session, but I'm going to follow up on that and see if I can get a calendar block for that session going. And the general magic engagement document, I have not made progress on. That's been something I've been maybe procrastinating a little bit. I want to start thinking about general magic, interfacing with general magic on the TQF front. I know Lauren's excited to integrate TQF at Giveth, and then also just I know general magic has a high cost associated, but even to just do like a orientation meeting with that with like I don't know Griff and a couple devs, just to show them TQF and then like brainstorm on how they would what an engagement might look like. So yeah, so a couple things. So I really want to start that, and I really want to get a token utility session up on the calendar. I guess those are like some hard things for me to follow up on early this sprint.
Cool, sounds good. About the calendar, I have access to. So if you send me the information,
Sure.
I can get that up.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's already a session scheduled for token utility on Saturdays. Have you guys seen that?
Oh.
I don't know if that's the one you suggested, Sean, but there's one there. I think every 2 weeks or weekly. I'm not sure.
But I
on
don't see it. I don't think it's in the TEC calendar. I don't have it in mind. Wait, every 3 weeks? Oh yeah. Okay, Saturday the 25th. That's interesting. That's definitely not the block that I put forward, so I'm not sure where that came from.
Well, let me know, and I can change it to
Oh,
whatever
okay.
the time was.
Okay, yeah, I'll just have to go double check that what that was.
Okay. And then I guess let's try to sync and see if we can get or like make a few tests of the application before the round ends, so that whenever we get the results, we can just run it and finish the round sooner this time. Okay. Now let's get to this sprint. This sprint is for me. I guess it's about the same. Oh well, another thing. I met just for a few minutes. We still have to chat a bit more, but I met Sam from the Ethereum Foundation. He's now leading the development of QF for privacy and scaling explorations, and he seemed very interested in what we were doing. So I'm looking forward to chat more. Also, there's some folks from CLR, and Owoki is also here. I'm trying to see if I can grab some time and just chat. Uh, Besides that, well, the round opens tomorrow. After the round opens, everything gets easier-ish, I guess. It turns out more to be more communications work than anything else. So I may try to spend some time running stuff or at least engage more in the communications channel that we got set up there. Um, I'm also expecting to have to do some sponsor work. Um, like I still have to follow up with Cassiana on the contract and all that, but also because of timing and all that, there's some small unknown questions we have with Arbitrum, with this Disruption Joe. So gotta follow up with those and check what's up. Um, so I guess I'll just change this one to sponsor relations, and to be honest, I'll put the sponsor NFT on Gideon. Mostly, like I'm happy whenever he gets back. I'm happy to do the work. I'm not sure, to be honest, what he was thinking of offering with the NFT. So for now, I'll just put it here. So whenever he's here, he can check it and give some more information. Okay, so that's that for me. Then we have you here, Bear.
I could hop in now if it's not too late. I know mine is short.
Yeah,
So for last
sure.
sprint, mostly keeping an eye on the OP migration. By that I mean contributing to the edits and the revision
Well, I'm
for.
not hearing you now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, is it okay now? There might be a lot of background noise.
It's clear for me.
Okay.
Not sure if Isaac can hear it though.
Isaac, does this sound okay to you?
Isaac, can you hear
Yeah, I
Tamara?
think I can hear you
Oh,
better now.
okay.
Okay, apologies. So last round was
Yeah, go ahead.
really focused on outreach at the early part of the week, around trying to rally projects to apply, and so like that kind of communication stuff, and working with Bear on the documents for community advice process. So really good place with all of those now. This last week I also gave a talk, so almost a full day was dedicated to revising and giving the talk. And then this week is tomorrow and Thursday I'm at Web Summit. Actually, a friend of mine from Paris, Ethan, is hosting the crypto startup pitches tomorrow. So I don't have high expectations because Web Summit is really a Web 2 mega conference. And I think their understanding of crypto is very, I don't know, what do I say? Like, very 2019, 2017, 2018. I think that their perspective, like the Web, in this particular milieu, their perspective of Web3 is mostly like FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So I don't have high expectations, but I'm still excited to see what kind of projects are making inroads in that sphere. I am walking up a hill, a very, very steep hill in Lisbon. That's why I am out of breath, and I apologize for that. And then the rest of this sprint is really staying focused on meeting our tasks for the migration to optimism. And I think outside of that, there's not that much I will be working on this sprint in the TEC.
Okay, sounds good. Uh, Give me just 1 second. That was um 1 second. Sorry. Man.
I maybe want to share with the group
Okay.
one thing about the Guardians. Sorry, Nancy, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
sure.
I need to
Yeah.
get. I have
Yeah, yeah.
some
Go ahead. Go ahead.
concern that we won't have people nominate themselves as guardians. So we need a minimum of 7, and 10 would be great. But I just wonder if we actually have 10 people in the community who would take on the responsibility to be guardians. I don't have a solution. I'm sorry, I'm bringing this as more like, what do we do if we don't have 7 nominations or 7 self-nominations? I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about that, but I think it's something that we should be prepared for.
Yeah. It's something that I've been chatting with Tom and also with Sean the other day. Yeah, it's one of those situations that it's not clear what to do. I mean, I think that if all of us, like, and I say all of us, like the coordination team and the TCAN were to self-nominate, we could make it. But I don't know if that's gonna be the case, right? I think it's gonna be pretty tight on that front. So yeah, something to reflect on.
You know, Phil H has been super responsive as an advisor to the grants program. So he's somebody that is on my list of people to consider and invite if he would consider taking on that responsibility.
Yeah, and I mean, on the other side, I think there's some implicit assumptions from the community already, from let's say the coordination team or other like individuals around, like yourself, Tam. In the worst case scenario, I would guess that the community would be fine with us as a group, sort of to speak, to hold that power in an interim kind of thing. I don't think it's ideal, but if what we need are guardians, I think um, we and if what we need are guardians and no one else shows up, I think there's um, we are the ones left to do so. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sort of de facto.
I like the
Yeah.
idea also of curated invitations for people to self nominate, like Phil, like you said with Phil. And there might be two or three people that we can really invite and have a good chance that they go for it. And between that and then the coordination group and TCAN, we should be able to do it.
And the reason I bring Phil up is I think he's a good, like, I can point to him as somebody who would not self-nominate unless we invited him and explained the responsibility to him and why we thought he would be a good match for it. In which case I think he might do it. And I think there might be other people like that all of us can think of that might make good guardians, but would not on their own just self-nominate. If they read the post, they wouldn't jump to it. But if we asked them if they would consider taking it on, they probably would.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and what does the timeline look like for that? Like when are we more or less expecting to be having to nominate or look for guardians? Do we know that?
Yeah, we have the date. I just don't have easy access to it. If you give me a second, I can try to find it.
But I mean, even no, I mean, I guess I was just asking, not necessarily because of the specific date, but I guess depending on how far the date is, there's a bunch of things we can do to prepare and have some people uh
Well, so the
Yeah.
right time would be now to ask people. The post will go up. I think it's on Notion, the project plan. The post will go up either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. What it is, what day it is. But so now would be a good time to reach out to anyone you think might be interesting. Or if you want to wait a couple of days when the post is up, maybe you could share the post with them and then invite them. I don't
Okay.
know how many of these people there
Yeah.
are. Like Jeff is somebody who I think would be great, but he's very difficult to get a hold of because he's so busy with other stuff. So it's sort of like I wouldn't personally invite Jeff because I think he wouldn't want to take on the responsibility, for example. But I think Phil might be more reactive and be willing to take on those. It's actually just a really big responsibility to take on, to be the last line of defense for the TEC.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If I'm completely honest, I think it will turn out to be mostly ourselves, in all honesty. Because I mean, the very reason we are here is because we are the ones sort of, um, sort of on the loop, and to be fair, we don't have as many people engaged, so it's also going to be very hard to have people from that are not necessarily day to day, but like not in the loop or engaged with the TC, even if they see one tweet or something every other day. I think it's also a bit hard to ask them to be guardians with all the context that they are not having. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see all these whenever we get the post up.
And one thing that I've been thinking about is it's not so important that they're involved in the day to day to the TEC. It's not so important that they read the forum or are on the Twitter, but it's really important that if you ping them, they can respond quickly. Like if you send someone a message, we think this is a scam. Can you veto this?
Yeah.
Or they can start to talk with. There's a Guardian channel. Talk with the other Guardians. Reach out to people. Try to react very quickly to a possible, I guess, economic threat to the TEC.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, yeah. Well, I am look forward to the post next week to see what's up. I also have to now that we're talking about posts and proposals, I also have to put the SDI proposal in chain. To be honest, I was just waiting for Gideon to get back to make the voting easier. Um, but we'll see. Hey Nate, how's it going? We are just going through the planning.
Good, yeah. Apologies for my tardiness. Got my hours mixed up.
No worries. Um. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Maybe let's go. Well, let's go with you, Nate. You were next. Um. So if you want to give any update from the past sprint or this one, feel free to do so.
Yeah. Currently, I am going through my sprint event. Usually, the token utility sessions we have for this month is coming up on Sunday, so I'm planning for that. There are a bunch of the community events, including the shill spaces that I don't think are in here, and the community call planning is done. The OPS and migration, I'm moving over to the next sprint as well. This is kind of an ongoing thing. And I think that is it right now. The token utility sessions is something I don't know if YGG is still. Do we ever implement that? I don't know if I should move that off.
Hey, yeah, did you say something about Sunday? I thought you said something because we noticed there's a block in the calendar on Saturdays, but I'm not sure where that came from, and we're gonna get it on the calendar for Monday's tech utility sessions. TEC token utility.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry. I just yeah, I wasn't sure if you were still on that one or if I should take my name off or anything like that.
Yeah, I just had I think I I made a ticket with Platform Man, but didn't hear back. And then Isaac was like, "I've got access to the calendar. Just let me know the time." So, yeah, we're gonna get it just before the comms call on Mondays.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for me on that
Yep.
side of things. I need to
I
add a couple of the tasks for this upcoming sprint, but yeah.
Okay, I just made the changes to the to on the calendar. Have a look, Sean, and let me know if
Looks
that's
good. I see it.
the time.
Yep.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, let's continue. Um, I don't remember if we got to do your part, Bear, for this sprint.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't, but it's basically the same thing. Like what I went over from the past sprint: the analysis, the covenant, the roles, the guardian's nomination, and the fiduciary policies. That's just it.
Cool, thanks. And then the last part is yours, Sean. You said I think you said most of it, if not all, but I don't know if you want to add anything to this sprint.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I've been getting really into writing the TQF paper. Probably going to put a lot of momentum into that. It'll be great starting the token utility sessions next week. And maybe I just want to check in with you, Isaac, regarding the Gitcoin proposal, because we have that draft that is pretty much good to go. I think it could use like one more round of review. Might be good for the TCAN session this Friday. But just like strategically, how are you feeling about that proposal and timeline wise?
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Something we could do, like in we can do this even right now if you want. Um, the proposal, as I remember, it was pretty much ready. Anyways, so we can, while I'm reading it, you could also share it on the Telegram chat with the Gitcoin folks so that they can provide some feedback before going public on the forum.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, let's sort of get a temp check of the team and solve any issues, and then we just roll with it. I think that doesn't sound too bad. Um, if it's completed, it's completed. You know, we can just post it. The only part that I remember was missing was the budget, and if that's there, like the budget we're asking Gitcoin to give us for the work, that's that's cool.
Great. Okay. I'll make sure that's all filled in. And yeah, I've got a budget section here, so I'll post this in the Telegram chat with Gitcoin for feedback.
Okay, excellent. Sounds good. Finally. Uh, 1 second, sorry. Uh, okay, then I think that's pretty much all. Um, this sprint for me is going to be on the light side because I'm traveling, but I'm also really interested. If it's not this sprint, or it's probably going to be the next one. Um, for me, we have to ramp up ground stuff in the sense of like we should already be talking or sort of making preparations for the next round to reach out to sponsors and all that. Um, so that's also that's also something I'm trying to look at this sprint or the following one. Because now we don't really have time between grants, so it's pretty much a continuous work at this point. Uh, with that, then I saw Vasily comment. It seemed to me that his comment meant that he's going to work on it, but I'll follow up with him in a second after the call. Um, Tomorrow we have the round opening in Arbitrum. I'm just making a recap to see if there's anything missing that we need to take care of. Um, I'm not sure about what's happened with communications these past few days, but I guess that now's the time to get as many donors as possible. And yeah, I think we are good. Most of the work happens before the round opens. I don't know if people have anything that they want to say, any comment, feedback before we wrap this up.
Yeah. Just in regards with communications, I think that's still our weak point. Yesterday it was only Nate and me on the communications call, so it was a bit hard to coordinate on the type of work we need and we require for this upcoming week and the next weeks for the kind of like donor campaign. Um, Also, I know there's this component of Ephra being around. I'm not entirely sure how's that been working and how is that going to work. I think he was supposed to make a couple of tweets that we agreed on last week. Not entirely sure if he did. Also, not like you guys probably saw on the group chat. I just sent him a couple of messages based on what we talked about, Nate and myself, yesterday for this week. But yeah, it still feels quite unclear, um, that communications part, and if he's gonna be drafting more tweets this week or if he's gonna focus on the graphics. And it feels like we need someone following up probably more closely on that with him. Or I don't know if there's any other update on that.
But but just to just to be clear, what you mean is that he's not delivering, or that the structure is not clear of how he's engaging, or how he should engage.
Yeah. I think the structure is not clear, and in terms of delivery, we have like that copy of the playbook, the marketing playbook that Tam created, where we were kind of like adding all the tasks that he was gonna take and that Nate was gonna take, and there were a couple of things that I think he was supposed to have delivered last week. But again, I'm not sure if he did. I don't want to point him out or anything. I'm just stating that the structure is not clear on how is that going to work. And I know that the agreement is to pay him like weekly. So yeah, like I don't think there's much clarity on what does that payment exactly entails if we are not also telling him what exactly do we need, right? I also think we agreed that he was gonna go over the marketing playbook, but at the same time I'm not sure if he has the entire context to be able to, just by looking at it, be able to create those pieces of content. So I'm not sure. I feel there's just a bit of lack of clarity, or maybe it's just me. I don't know, maybe everything is clear and I just don't know about it.
Hmm. Um, I'll try to have a look at the comms channel and also chat with him. Um, and see. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just really not sure what's happened in the past few days to be able to comment on any of that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, nothing has really happened, right? Like, there's not much communication on this regard. Uh, I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably just a matter of following up and just clarifying things. Um, and it's still kind of like that weak spot, right, of communications that we haven't been able to have someone clearly own that, at least for now. I mean, while Gideon is not here, especially for the grants round, so that has make it a bit complicated. But yeah, that's that's the only concern that I wanted to bring here.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say that Gideon created this wonderful marketing plan and we haven't really been able to follow it. And a lot of the work has sort of been piecemeal and very reactionary rather than proactive on that front. And with the marketing plan also, I don't, it wouldn't be fair to Ephra to expect him to be able to execute that plan. As we were going through it together on the last call, it was evident that there were just things that he wouldn't know or contacts that he wouldn't have to be able to execute on his own. So I think it's also something that somebody more internal would have to execute with it. Like, he can be an aid to it, but he wouldn't be able to own it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it, and I think that's part of the problem, that we don't have anyone that has been able to properly own it, right? I mean, I was trying to show up yesterday in the comms call to try to chat about this, but also Efra couldn't make it, so we tried to follow up async, tried to provide him with some guidance, but again, it's kind of like the same issue. There's no one like kind of like fully taking on that, and I guess this is temporary, right? The only issue is that it's happening right while the round is going on, so. And because it's an important round, I think communications, it's also pretty critical. Like you were saying, Isaac, maybe after the round opens, then things chill out a bit. But in regards with communications, we really need to push up and have a strong muscle there to get donations. How are we going to do that? That's the thing I'm still not sure, right? I know Gideon is coming back, so that's going to help, but it's also going to be a bit of um, not ideal thing to just kind of like give him this full package of work that we weren't able to kind of like uh, fulfill or start, at least, right? So yeah, that's just it. I just think that overall we need better planning. That's also one of the things that we were discussing on the retrospective the other day. We need to get better at planning and at being more precautious of things that could come up and situations. So yeah, just learn the lesson and that's it.
Yeah, well, now that I'm a bit more like settled in here, uh, like I mean, it's a 7 hour difference, so I needed a few days to accommodate myself. I'll chat with Ephra too, and I'll have a look um at the comms chat. And also now that the round is open, I will have like a bit more time to look at other things. Um, so I'll try to follow up with him and see, and then yeah, hopefully some good stuff comes out of it. And yeah, I don't really know what else to add there. Um, I just need to read and talk with some folks to sort of get context of what's happening and see how I can help. Um, hey Joseph, we were really about to wrap up the sprint planning. Um, I don't know if you want to add anything to your planning or if anyone else has any other comments. Otherwise, we can leave it here.
Yeah, I'll wrap up.
I'll open the mic now.
Yeah, I'll wrap up. I won't take too
Sorry?
much time. No, I said I'll wrap up. I won't take too much time. I would just, with regards to any planning, I'll probably just be in the shadow supporting either Nate, Bear, or anyone who wants to call upon me for any type of help in support with any tasks that they have done, or no, sorry, not they have done, or that they are doing. So yeah, just give me a shout and I'll help when needed. That's about it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks. Anyone else has any comments? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. Well, I guess we can wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for coming, and excited to see the run open tomorrow. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Isaac.
Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.